So I'm looking now on my Facebook feed, seeing various posts reporting, through the media, other people as well reporting this as well in Minneapolis, Minnesota. At this point now, it's showing a lot of people have converted from protesting to doing more riots. All right. So I want to go here and just address that real quick. All right. So the question on everyone's mind who's thinking about this, who's even giving feedback about this, they want to know why riot. All right. They want to know what's the purpose of people rioting. Furthermore, what's the purpose of people doing obstruction of property, businesses, and there's different things like that, vandalism. What's the whole purpose of that? So as a therapist, I want to go ahead and share with you about this, all right? So first of all, now, whenever things happen like this, criminologists call this behavior or this phenomenon called civil unrest. Once again, on criminologists, they call this behavior civil unrest. How the way civil unrest occurs is exactly in a situation where the citizens, they feel like justice had not been served, so it caused this behavioral phenomenon where people have to go and they have to go and protest. They have to even convert to doing riots, and different things like that. You know what I mean? Just so they could get their voice heard, just so things can happen. All right. Now, me personally, I always believe in a more diplomatic solution first. You know what I'm saying? And the diplomatic solution first is normally trying to go to the police department, voice your concern, protest there, sign petitions, talk to your local council members as well and stuff to get your voice heard. There's different things like that on a political level, so it can go all the way up to the very top, which is, in this case, it'll be the president of the United States. All right. So I always believe in the diplomatic solution first, you know what I'm saying? But however, sometimes the diplomatic solution doesn't reach to the top as fast enough. And it could be for different reasons. Some people are politicians or whatever. They in their mind, it's not as serious as they think it is, you know what I'm saying? So some things will go up, you do petitions, you try to do protests and stuff like that, then people will look at it and they just throw it to the side and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Or even gaslight, or do different things like that, red tape, all different other type of things, you know what I'm saying? So it don't get up there the way that it need to. So when it don't get up there the way that it need to, this will cause civil unrest. All right, this will cause this behaviorist phenomenon. So the next process is that people, they go ahead, they begin to protest, they voice their concern, they do their protest, stuff like that. Then the next level after is what y'all saying right now, which is the riots and stuff like that, the vandalism, the obstruction, all different other type of things that they're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that they do. Now, once again, I always believe in the diplomatic solution, but at the same time, I also understand that it's also a time for everything. It's a time in the season for everything. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when that diplomatic solution fails, then what you're going to do, you're just going to just let it go and nothing's not going to happen, or you're going to take it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, you know what I'm saying, when people go and protest, when they go and riot, even though people don't agree with it and stuff like that, sometimes this thing is actually necessary to get the voice heard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't agree with, you know what I'm saying, destroying, you know, like businesses and stuff like that, catch stuff on fire. I absolutely don't agree with vandalism. I don't agree with looting and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of which, while we're talking about this too, is that I don't know if y'all was paying attention to when this incident happened in Ferguson, right? But I was. Then I was analyzing the whole entire thing, right? So what ended up happening in Ferguson was that they was doing the same exact thing. They was protesting and, you know, doing all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? But there were certain things that kept popping up on my Facebook page and stuff. And this certain thing that kept popping up, it was asking about actors and stuff, right? They call them actors and stuff. And I forgot the name that they call them, but they literally, and this is actually a fact, they literally had actors go to Ferguson and stuff, right, for the whole intent purpose, you know what I'm saying, to pretend that they're for the people, and these same actors was the ones that's going around vandalizing different stuff in Ferguson. Like, you had a set of people that was straight protesting, you know what I'm saying? They was straight protesting. They telling people like, hey, don't throw nothing at these, you know, at these buildings and stuff. We're not here to destroy property. We're here to voice our concerns. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, actors was deployed and stuff, right? We have different actors, and they deploy different people to infiltrate what's going on and to create a scenario that shouldn't be happening, which is this rioting scenario where they vandalizing stuff and breaking stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Now, I know different people, you know what I'm saying, they probably hear me saying this, and y'all probably think it's a conspiracy and stuff like that, but I guarantee you this is not a conspiracy, nothing like this. Absolute fact, and is absolute truth that they honestly have people go out there purposely for the whole intent to create a good scenario for the media, you know what I'm saying, for the media to report this situation, so they could have this narrative, you know what I'm saying, of destruction and, you know, and all the stuff in their source and their stories, so they can want to control the masses and stuff, to let them see this type of illusion, you know what I'm saying? A matter of fact, I don't know if y'all seen the movie. If y'all seen the last Purge movie that came out, the very, very last one, they demonstrated a type of civil unrest too in that movie, where the community, it was in New York, the community that was having civil unrest and stuff like that as well. Then they did the same exact thing, where they literally, since the people wasn't purging correctly, nobody really was doing it, they literally sent the unit out there and stuff. They sent military people who dressed as normal civilians to go out there and loot, destroy stuff, go out there to shoot people and stuff like that, just to get the system started, to show that whatever type of system that they or plan that they got implemented, they wanted it to work. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. This same process, this same psychology is going on right now. In you know what I'm saying, in Minnesota, yeah, over there, you know what I'm saying, in the area. So this same situation is going on right now, and I guarantee y'all that and stuff, because like I was following the protests and stuff like that too, and throughout the day it was just a simple protest. Then they had people who are actual leaders there. That when people try to do something, they'll stop them like, no, we ain't doing that. That ain't what we're here for. Stop doing that. Put it down. And they'll literally I seen some, they'll literally tackle them and everything, like, no, we ain't doing that and stuff like that. But it's funny. This another thing that's funny too is that, and y'all need to pay attention to this too, is that it's funny how normally the riot starts when at night. It is very funny when the riots start at night versus during the day. You know what I'm saying? Y'all call it what you think, you know what I'm saying? Y'all call it if it's a conspiracy, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just observe what I see. You know what I'm saying? So Even in situations, you know what I'm saying, like another thing and stuff too, stuff like I know I have different people who are fans with me, but also they're friends with me on Facebook. I have people who's part of like military, have military training and background, law enforcement and different stuff like that and stuff. Now, even for the people who have military experience or training, when this country goes out into war against another country, you know what I'm saying? They do what is necessary to win that war. You know what I'm saying? They'll go, if they have to go and infiltrate a country, they would do it. You know what I'm saying? Then at one point in time, it became hard for them to, when they go to other countries like the Middle East, whatever, it became difficult for them to recognize who was the enemy and who was the ally and stuff. So they had to make a decision and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, are we going to shoot civilians, or are we going to shoot the actual enemy? Because it's real difficult to discern and stuff like that. So even within that, the reason why I'm bringing this up, because likewise, through this protest and riot, it's the same exact way. You have people that infiltrated that you can't tell if they really the civilians that's for the cause, or they the one who's actually there that's assisting with creating this scenario, the behavior and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So you have to take a account to all these different factors and stuff that's going on with that too, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I understand that without these things occurring, without these things happening, it's not going to get the attention to people who are needed to get the attention for. I believe in universal principle. I believe in universal law. And one thing about my belief about universal law is this, is that I believe in cause and effect. I believe that in order for certain things to happen, something has to be affected by it and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Something has to happen to make something happen so it can be effective, in other words, you know what I'm saying? So in this situation, I know a lot of people, you know, some getting upset. I even have people on here that's well talking about religion and stuff, talking about, hey, you know, God is a God of love and he's not a God of vengeance. Then again, they go back and say, vengeance is mine, to say the Lord.